Live and my mic is muted. What is up, everybody? Let's do that again. And welcome to another episode of Rocket Live. Thank you all so much for watching and listening to us live right now on whatever platforms you're doing that on, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitch, Twitter. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And today I've got a really awesome guest in the virtual studio today. I've got my awesome co-host today, Elisabeth Flach here from Kraus Marketing, business development executive, and we are here to have a chit chat about TikTok. Elisabeth, thanks for coming on. Thanks for rocking out with us today.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so happy we can make this happen. You got a lot going on, and we were talking about this off air, and there's so much happening in the world of TikTok. And for anybody that's a regular listener of the show, you know that I've had some other people on here before, especially too. We had Leslie Ventez on, who has a great TikTok channel, Sales Tip Talk. So you definitely want to check her out and check out that past episode. We talked all about using TikTok, and she's a huge sales and business development professional, and as is Elisabeth. And so what we wanted to talk a little bit about today, and this is why Elisabeth's here, is we want to talk about TikTok and how it can be used for business. And there's a lot of things that have been going on out there discussion-wise, which is also another reason, because Elisabeth's got a webinar that she's hosting with Kraus Marketing coming up on Wednesday. That's Wednesday, March 9th, for anybody listening or watching this right now. It's a free webinar. It's from 2 to 3 p.m. And they're going to be talking all about all the different things about TikTok. But for the purposes of today's discussion, want to just have a brief little chat about it. So, Elisabeth, I'm going to throw it over to you. So let's set the stage real quick.
Okay.
Tell everybody a little bit about yourself and your background and why you're so awesome. Let's start with that.
Okay, well, I wake up like this, just to be clear.
That's it. Boom. Wake up, look like that.
I've been in this game for a long time. I've been in the marketing space for 20 years since I graduated college. But the digital space is something I'm super passionate about. So if there's a platform that you can leverage to make money, push out content, I've built it, leveraged it, designed it, advertised on it, you name it. So I came from the sports and entertainment background, which is obviously super fun and super cool. I worked in college sports for many years with ESPN. I was a contractor for them. I had my own kind of contracting company. Right. So it was really cool. I put butts in seats. So I understand how to like get in front of audiences, sell products, services, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it's the passion of mine, right? It's what I do every day, but I really love what I do. I love helping people. I love helping people grow the brand, make money, push messaging and content. So
yeah, and I think it's really cool too, because when we're talking about TikTok, especially, it's one of these things where you say TikTok, like, oh, I'm on TikTok, you're on TikTok, and people chuckle about it, like they laugh, they're like, oh, TikTok, you guys are on TikTok, and it's like, well, yeah, no, I am, and I know there's like tons of misnomers about it, and listen, I mean. And we all know, I mean, listen, I think we pretty much I think everybody pretty much spent the better part of, what I like to call the great pause, all sitting and watching TikTok videos.
That's a good way of putting it. Yes.
And I mean, even for me, like both my daughters who are a little older, I've been into TikTok, and I'm, even my younger daughter, it was originally, before it was TikTok, it was Musical.ly.
Yep.
And she was on Musical.ly, and then obviously it then transferred over to TikTok. So it's been sort of in my life and in my sphere, my peripherals, for a long time. And I really didn't take the leap to actually get myself on TikTok until like my girls were very much, Dad, you should get on it. Like you do so much stuff. You would have so much fun on this platform and doing all the things that you do. You should really take advantage of it. So finally, I, after being on and just sort of like watching and hanging out and seeing what other people are creating, I finally, grew the courage to make some videos, and I just started doing it, and I have a lot of fun on that platform. And I think I may have one dumb dance video in there, but for the most part, I'm not typically using it. Yeah. I'm not using it for a lot of dance stuff. For me, I'm from my personal experience with it, is I'm using it to, whether it's promoting like my Rocket brand and talking about the things that have to do with that, from the point of, talking about creative professionals, to having fun with the different music that I'm into, talking about records and, talk about Star Wars, all the things that like people know me for, and the things that I love doing and talking about. And that's how I've been using it. And it's been great. And I also use it too to promote my other podcasts that I do. And we create clips for it all the time. So we get a ton of engagement and discoverability too through that. And I've noticed that like, because I've been doing TikTok, that I get, people coming in either wanting to learn about Rocket or connect with me on LinkedIn or my Instagram, or if they come through with the Chris and Amanda show, then like they're finding the show for the first time ever. And that's how I've been using it. That's been my experience. So I'd love to hear like your experience with it too, because you're a mom, you're a professional, like you've been in it, and I know you're using it too.
Yeah, I love the platform, to be quite honest. I like like you're saying, you're putting out content in relation to the things that you're interested in, the things that you love. It's got a highly intuitive algorithm.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
you start putting stuff up there, you put a hashtag up there, and immediately you're going to start to see some of those top tier influence marketers and content producers. You're going to see them in your feed. So you don't even have to go out and search for them. They're gonna the algorithm is going to find you and then serve you up their content. So, and then from there, obviously you're gonna grow your fan base and grow your follow base and all that. So it's a really killer platform. Very entertaining. Obviously, you can get sucked into the vortex, but very informative.
Yeah,
you
it
get those
is.
clips of information and they come at you super fast and just enough to wet your whistle. If you want more, you go to the person's page and go to their link tree or their website, whatever they
Right.
have. And you kind of go down that rabbit hole a little bit, but it can be highly beneficial for a brand. If you have a brand ambassador, if you have an influencer, if you are an influencer and you have a product or service to sell, I mean, it's a really great way to engage with the end user very quickly, and entertain them. I think people want to be entertained and engaged. I think we all know we're being sold to all the time. Everywhere we go, we're being sold somehow, some way.
Yeah.
So if you can do it in a fun and entertaining way, it's more approachable. People want it versus you forcing it on them. So it's a great platform for that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I with the amount of time I've spent on it, and like any of these platforms, right? They learn what you like, what you're into, and the hashtags you follow. And what's cool for me is not only watching the content and seeing what other people are doing, but also to watching like the comments and how people engage with the content and understanding that. And I think that's been also equally as cool because from a business perspective, right? It's all about hanging out where your people are hanging out, right? And
Right.
you want to engage with them and you want to talk to them and have these conversations because at the end of the day, right? Social media is all about it's a conversation, it's an active conversation.
Yep.
And I think that that's cool because that's too where a lot of that networking or sharing the high valued content that you have happens. And you could take that from there then to like, offline onto like your email or having a phone call with somebody. And, there's a lot of that that's going on. And I don't think people have truly really understood or grasped like that's like the next level of creating the content, but also interacting with like your target client, the people you want to be in front of.
Well, it's interesting. So I get people, especially, so I'm in my 40s, and anyone a little older than me, they're like, well, TikTok's only for like kids and stuff. And I'm like,
Yeah.
actually, if you tune in on the webinar on Wednesday, you'll see the actual breakdown, and it's
Yeah.
shocking how like equally distributed it is in so many capacities. Like you're gonna be like, there's no way, but it's true. There's an older audience on there, right? Those are customers. They have money to spend. They're established in their careers. So if you have a product or service you're trying to sell or build your brand and get in front of that audience,
Right.
they're there. They're hanging out. And also that younger audience too, which, you take it back to basic principles of marketing. You're trying to build that loyalty in that customer. And, the older generations, we believe in loyalty, right? I buy from my
Right.
car guy because he takes good care of me. I text him, he fixes my thing. He's
Right.
my guy until he's no longer my guy. The younger audience, it's a little more challenging to build brand loyalty because they want immediacy. But if you get in there and you're trying to build a sustainable brand over the next 20 to 30 years, you've got your customer base that's my age or older on this platform, but you're also trying to get in front of that younger audience as well to build that long pipeline as well. So like if you think about it from that perspective, it's not just about the entertaining value and the content marketing, but it's also building brand loyalty, which is huge for businesses long term.
Yeah, 100%. Really well said. So we actually have a question here from
Ooh.
Mr. Chris Fiducia. Chris, thanks for asking. So great question here. How can you find out which hashtags are trending for the audience you want to reach? This is a really great question. Thanks for asking that, Chris.
Well, there's ways to find them. Actually, if you go onto TikTok itself, it'll tell you what the current trending hashtags really are. Also, another way is through audio. So audio on TikTok is another way to figure out what's really trending. And that's where that kind of like dance part comes into play, or that voice overlay, right? So you've got voice overlay, you've got audio, and then you have trending hashtags. And sometimes you'll have all three. So they don't necessarily make sense,
Right.
right? But they make sense to the platform because people who are following those current trends will then see your video or audio or whatever. So through the trending, you can look up the word like trends, trend audio, trend music, trend song, and that will show you like what's trending. And then obviously TikTok does a really good job of actually tracking the current trending hashtags.
Yeah, it really does. They do a
Like
really good
on
job
their
of that.
website, actual website, like
Yeah.
TikTok.com. Like you can go on there and it will actually tell you. Because for the webinar, right, I'm like preparing and I want to see what's the most up-to-date information, like the most accurate data for audience distribution and current active download users and time on the app, right? So I'm pulling the most recent data. And in there, there's actually some really good information about hashtags. But what I would recommend to him is, look, go in and start following hashtags that you're interested in. And then by natural default, some of those people are going to start using trending hashtags because they want their content seen in front of a new audience that doesn't necessarily follow marketing or video or whatever that is, right? Finance. And from there, you'll start to see what those weekly or bi-weekly trending audio and hashtags are. And you'll start to see the intuitiveness of the platform. And then you'll be able to like follow, and then you'll get that information. So it's a like kind of, you're learning it as you're in it, per se.
Yeah, and that's a really great point, because that's exactly how I believe me, I don't know everything there is to know about TikTok, but it's what I kind of Gary Vee actually gave that great advice, which was like, hey, if you want to get involved in TikTok, the best way is to just get on a platform, join it, and just start watching,
Yes.
and listening and experimenting before you even create content. And I honestly, what I did, between my girls like pushing me and saying, Dad, you got to get on more, and I was like, all right, and then that's what I did. I literally spent time like watching and listening and doing what you did, like, oh, how do I find trending topics, and oh, this is how you do it now. Okay, cool. Well, now I can find the things I want to follow, and now when I get on the TikTok, it's like all the stuff that I want to know about, and it's
Yep.
really cool like that, how it really becomes like you get the content served to you that you want to be part of, which is great, because then you begin to find like your target audience of the people you
Right.
want to be in front of more.
Correct. Or what you want
Yeah.
to see, right? So you get
Yeah.
to select what you want to see. So you're not getting everything, you're getting what you're asking for.
Hmm.
And then because you're engaging with that content, it's going to find other content and serve you up new content within that bucket, within that hashtag, whatever that might be, right? Whatever
Yeah.
that topic is. So it's great. And then look, if you want to produce content on there, you want to make videos, you got to kind of figure out, who are you? Like, what's your brand?
Right.
What's your shtick? Are you a dance person? Are you a voice overlay person? Are you a personality? Or are you literally recording your voice and then sharing inspirational messaging or whatever that might be, professional messaging? So you just got to kind of figure that out based off of what you
Yeah.
see and then do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's all about like, listen, you have to just start doing it. And you just go and create it. If you don't like the video at the end of the day, then you can delete it. It's totally fine. It doesn't,
I think we
it's not,
overthink it, you know?
yeah. But actually the videos for me personally that have performed the best are the ones I completely just randomly did. Like, I think I did one where I like asked Alexa like some random question about Star Wars, and that video freaking blew
Yeah,
up. And I was like, what? Are you
it's
kidding me? But
crazy.
like, and I had some fun with that kind of stuff. But you know what I wanted before, because we said, hey, we're not going to talk too long here, because I know,
Right.
everybody watching's got a lot of stuff going on. But obviously, if you have any more questions, please ask them, throw them in the chat before we sign off. We'll try to get to them. But, I do want to get back to the webinar that's coming up. So there's a
Yes.
webinar. You're hosting it. It's happening live on March 9th. That's Wednesday, March 9th. And this is a really cool webinar. So why don't you just talk a little bit about what people can expect here?
Yeah, we're going to break down all the most important things you need to know about TikTok, especially from a B2C and a B2B perspective, right? We're going to give you some really good case studies. I'm going to show you some brands that have just been crushing it, global brands, and then some smaller brands, and kind of give you the insights to how to leverage it in any capacity, whether you're a consumer, a B2C kind of business, or you're a B2B business. We're going to break down all of those little bullet points that you see there. So like the
Yeah.
demographics, that's a huge one. The stability of the platform, the algorithm intuitiveness, and we even break down the types of advertising and the campaigns you can do. And our video guy is going to come on, Dylan. He's amazing. I love Dylan from Kraus Studios. He's going to break down video content and the production of it, and how to really leverage it. And then from an attribution perspective, right? So everybody wants to know, if I put it out there, how do I know what's going to come back and how am I going to make money?
Right.
And we talk about all of that. So it's really about how to leverage a brand, drive leads, and drive more revenue. Because the content's fun, right? You can go down the rabbit hole and get sucked into the vortex. But from a business perspective, how are you using it to actually make money and grow your brand? And really, that's the key. You know, I only really love the platforms where we can spend money to make more.
Yeah.
So like my kids are on Snapchat, right? I have teenagers, and my daughter's 20. She's in college, and she's like, Mom, get on Snapchat. And I'm like, no. She goes, why? I go, because I make money on it. I'm not making any money on this platform. My message disappears. I need to stay forever.
Yeah.
So I can push the add button.
Exactly. 100%. It is. And I agree with that too. Cause
that's my old school mentality, right?
Yeah.
Like
I'm like that
but
too.
I'm an old lady like that.
Yeah. I'm not on Snapchat. I think I have Snapchat just because I have one friend who loves to be on Snapchat, but that's kind of it. But when it comes to TikTok, I like it. When being a creator too, I love the creator controls and the ability I have to, create and reuse content I have. And, when like you were talking about audio too, playing with music and different things like that. And it does go. And when you do search, you were talking about the search too, having music that trends, that's kind of hot actually does help a lot with like your content getting seen and being found in algorithms. So, that's all the stuff you play with. Like, once again, you have to play with it.
With like a trending video from so one right now that's going around is, that's really popular is by the rapper Russ.
Yep.
Okay. And so he had a duet this with me, right? He started out this, like 3 bars of this rap. And then this one particular girl, she took it and like kind of crushed it. And now she's everywhere. So this duet is now everywhere. And then other people are duetting the duet. And so it's stuff like that where it's just a great platform. And if you're on there enough, you can see, it's turning brands into non-existent to $1 million brands in less than a year.
Yeah.
If you're just pushing out the right stuff, and if you're leveraging, like I said, there's really cool filters, there's voice overlay, there's audio, and inside the app itself, it kind of shows you what's trending, what you're able to do, what you're able not to do. So it's really cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, there was a great story a couple of years back, like kind of right at the beginning of lockdown, and I think his username is Tone Star Paints, and he was the one mixing the different paint colors, the custom paint colors, on TikTok, blew up. The paint sales for the company he was at, I can't remember which major company it was, skyrocketed, but they wound up letting him go because it wasn't in line with their marketing. And then he got picked up by, I think, a company in Orlando Paints or something like that, started doing the same thing, and boom, their sales started going right back up again. And I think they even gave him his own line of paints and things, all his custom colors that he was making and all that. And it just, and here you go, you take something as everyday as paint, wall paint, but like now you have someone who's creative, like mixing these custom colors and putting it up on TikTok, and people are engaging with it. And now like, oh my gosh, like now when I go and I want to order this paint, or I'm in my store, I'm going to buy this kind of paint. And now you're top of mind. And it's like, you can't, like, that is the kind of stuff that makes a platform like TikTok so powerful, and how it relates then to business and growing your business and awareness, and then translating it into ROI, increasing sales, all that, and how it can be part of your marketing strategy. It's very real, and it's very much here. You really have to take notice of it.
For a fairly long time, actually. But it's new to like America, but it's actually been in the United States for a long time, but it's really starting to obviously grow some legs. But it's not going anywhere. I mean, we're on the cusp of even fully trying to really understand all the capabilities, and they're changing every day. And so, we're in the platform every day, putting out content. We're also in the platform running advertisements every day. We've seen a major success with a handful of brands that we work for, like big brands, right?
Mhm.
Producing great content in a bunch of different industries. Even Kraus produces its own content, and we're
Right.
leveraging the platform as well. So we drink our own Kool-Aid,
Yeah.
and we're in there pushing out our own content to try to grow our brand and obviously just test the algorithm. So it's a really great space. It's not going anywhere. My goal for the webinar truly though is to just educate everybody on any of the misnomers that they think exist behind TikTok, right? All the things that have gone
Right.
around, like it's not a 13-year-old dance platform. Yeah, of course there's 13-year-olds still dancing. There's 40-year-olds dancing on there. You know what I'm saying?
There's even
Like,
older than that I've seen dancing on there.
I
So
have too. There's like this one video I sent it to some of my older friends who were like in their 60s, and this 70-year-old couple is like breaking it down. I was like, look, there's goals for you. Like, so, just messing around because it's so fun. And
yeah.
it's very easy to share the content with your friends and family.
Yes.
So it's a very user-friendly platform. And if brands are really smart, and want to stretch a little bit and adapt some of their marketing strategy, or they have really cool products and services that would align with the platform, it could be a huge revenue generator and a brand awareness play. So,
Yeah.
it's not going anywhere. It's on the rise. So if you get in early, you'll be at the forefront, and then you'll just kick your competition's
Yeah.
bottom, if you will.
Yeah, no, listen, it's all about just getting awareness and finding your audience, right? There's an audience for everybody out there
Yep.
and no matter what it is you do, their audience is out there and you can find them. You really can with
Yeah.
some effort, some guidance, and just listening, which is also the key thing is listen to where people are at, listen to what they're asking. And if you don't know what kind of content to create or anything like that, then that's where you can start. You can listen to what your target audience wants, and you can create that content for them, help answer their questions. A lot of the accounts that I personally follow that are from influencers or people who own businesses honestly are answering questions from their clients. Like,
Yeah.
they're giving tips, tricks, advice, providing accountability, inspirational things, and sometimes demonstrations, like things that I'm really personally interested in, that then I go, oh wow, that's cool, I'm going to buy that. Or now I'm going to sign up for their newsletter because if they're going to keep giving me this kind of stuff, like, I want to be in the know because it's content that I find valuable for me. And I think that's also, I think one of the other misnomers, and you and I were talking about this too right before we went on. And this is why, signing up for this webinar is going to be so great because, you're going to have an hour to go through this. We're only just touching on some of the stuff because we
Yeah.
wanted to come on and just have a quick discussion about it. But really, sign up for the webinar. It's 100% free. And even if you can't attend live, it's from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. That's fine. Register anyway because it will be recorded. And if you're registered, only those who are registered are going to get access to the recording. So then that way you can watch it with your team, all that. And of course, like, Elisabeth is available to answer any questions. You could DM her, you can, email her directly, but like, just register. Even if you can't get there for the 2 to 3 p.m., you can at least get access to the recording.
Yep.
But where I was going with this is the thing that we were talking about is I think that a lot of people think you've got to be a big national brand to be able to advertise or utilize TikTok. And it's not the case. It really isn't.
No, that's very true. And I was actually going to say, like you were talking about video, and a lot of people are like, well, we don't have the bandwidth. We don't have the ability to produce video. Well,
Right.
I mean, the beautiful thing is, we are a full service agency. So we have an entire video team. So if TikTok is somewhere where you want to be placed, right? You just, a team of strategists we put a plan together, and then you produce that content, and then you leverage it by editing it down in chunks, right? And you have this, and you're focused on where you're advertising to your target audience.
Mhm.
So there are ways around that because I know that's people don't know how to do
Right.
it. Like, I don't know how to shoot it. I don't know how to edit it,
Yeah.
but it's always like, look, yeah, you might have to spend a little bit of money, but you're going to make so much more on the other end, right? So it's investing in your brand and putting yourself out there. And there are global brands that are producing a ton of content, right? And yeah, they have video teams and all that too,
Yeah.
but there are a lot of small brands that we've seen, especially during, like you call it, the great pause.
Yes, the great pause.
The great pause, which is very true, who just got really creative and just started putting out content, and their brands grew from nothing to something. Like I said,
Yes.
millions of dollars in 18 to 24 months. It's been insane to watch. I always tend to find the brands that are like right on the cusp. I always seem to
Right.
find them before, and then all of a sudden I'll start to see their ads and I'm like, oh, they got funded. Oh, look at that. They're pushing their content.
Right, you see the
And
production value go up.
you totally see it go from like, you know, in their little makeshift
DIY
office
to
to
yeah.
like a Dylan Malvey production from Kraus Studios, like cut throughs and, you know, all these great angles and colorations and all that. So it's cute. But yeah, no, I think people just have to realize, like, if it is a platform that would align with your brand
Mm.
and it's something that you want to embrace and you want to kind of be on the cutting edge and be robust, take the leap. You know, take the leap. Message us if you want to talk, if you need questions answered. Obviously, watch the webinar. We're going to go into a lot more factual data and that business side of it, right? I don't want to give away all the good stuff yet. We've worked real hard on putting this thing together. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm anxious. You know, I'm signed up. I'm gonna watch. I'm anxious because, you know, listen, I'm always looking to level up my game and learn more about you know, TikTok and how I could be better with it, but also, you know, to just be better talking about it too with everybody and having like real good conversations and, like you said, helping answer those really in-depth questions about, like, you know, which are people are, you know, what's the ROI on it, and, you know, should I be getting involved? Is this right for my business? You know, that it's not just dance videos and, you know, and 13-year-olds like having fun, which, yes, they are on there, but like any platform, you could say that about Facebook. You can say that about Instagram. You know, probably not LinkedIn, because LinkedIn's definitely a little bit more of a professional site, but still, if you're producing content on a place like LinkedIn, that same content that you're putting out on LinkedIn could easily, and I'm telling you, easily translate over to TikTok, and you will find an audience for it. Like 100%. And most of the people that I'm sure you even follow on LinkedIn already or on Twitter, places like that, you will see that they do have a presence on TikTok, and they are putting out all kinds of awesome, you know, content there too. Even like YouTube, you know, a lot of YouTube channels that you'll find are also putting their content on TikTok in smaller bite-sized bits. But, you know, it's a really great place to find people, to get to discover new ideas, and to also put yourself out there. So, you know, I'm definitely a big advocate of it, of course, as you could say. Oh, thank you, Vicky Wu. Vicky Wu just registered. Well, thanks, Vicky. Yeah, it's going to be a really great webinar for anybody out there. You're going to learn a lot. And, you know, obviously, if you're on there live, you'll be able to ask questions, all that. And of course, you know, I definitely urge you to connect with Elisabeth here. She can help answer any questions you have ahead of time, or if you have a specific question now, maybe she can answer it on the webinar. Or, you know, you can just DM with her and she'll help you out. So definitely make sure you register. The link is in the comments. It's in the video description. It's in the show notes here. Register for it. It's 100% free. As I said, if you can't be there live, cool, right? You can register. You can get the recording. You can still hang out with Elisabeth. You know, you can hit her up and hang out with her. She'll still answer all your questions.
Yep. My email will be in there. They can email me afterwards if they need to. Yeah. No problem. Yep.
Yeah, it's all very, very easy. It's not like one of these hard, rigid things where you can't talk to anybody and anything. So definitely make sure you register and get that information. And so, Elisabeth, any last words before we sign off and let everybody go back on their day here?
No, I just encourage everybody to sign up and join us and learn what you'd like to learn. And then obviously, if you have any questions, just reach out to us. And we're really excited to share and kind of have a mind-blowing experience, I think, for a lot of people. It's going to just knock their socks off.
Yeah, it's really good. It's a fun platform. There's a lot to learn. And, you know, it's just at the end of the day, right? It's all about having fun. Got to have some fun.
That's it. That's it.
So, all right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for watching this episode of Rocket Live. Please make sure you connect with Elisabeth. All her information is in the description and the show notes below. And of course, make sure you hang out with me and follow me over at rocketgrowthagency.com, or you can subscribe to the podcast wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can follow us on YouTube as well and get notified every single time we drop a new live episode of the show. You can catch us here on Twitter, on Twitch, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on all the platforms. So look forward to hanging out with you guys next time. And always remember, be authentic, be yourself, and always remember to rock it. Yeah.